Hi everyone, so today I just want to make a video on an update Evercross H5 Pro possibly. So I just visit Walmart's website the other day and saw they changed the picture of the Evercross H5. So they didn't change any description or the specs of the scooter. However, the picture they look different. So first of all, we're gonna look at the differences between the current H5 and the new H5, or this is the um, yeah, I don't know, maybe the old one, I'm not sure. This one, the left one, is from Amazon, so they're still selling this one. At least the picture are the same, but on the right side is from Walmart website. However, it looks different. Still, everything is the same again. The name is the same, the specs are the same, so I'm not sure the difference. The only difference I can tell is the looks. So let's get into it. So as you can see, the new Evercross H5. So this part is red, as you can see. This is the first difference. The handlebar looks mostly the same, and then so this one says Evercross. However, I would say this is just a rendering. It's not the actual picture, not the actual photo, so I cannot guarantee what would it look like in real life. And then on the second difference I can tell is this part over here of the stem, so which connects the stem and the board over here. As you can see, this part and this part, it looks different. I would say I like the new one better, like this, without the holes in the middle, and it's black in color, and then the light looks almost the same. And then the next difference is the suspension or the shock. So you can see this one, the new one has the spring, but the old one, as you know, has, is not spring. I'm not sure how you call this kind of shocks. So, and then the next difference is the tire. So as you can see, the new one has some kind of off-road tires, and then the one we have is, just regular tire. Not sure if they are solid or air tires, pneumatic air tires, because most of the time off-road tires are mostly pneumatic, so not solid. However, the description, like I said, it doesn't change the description. It still says solid tire. However, I doubt it's solid in this case if this is true. And then the next difference is the board. As you can see, the lights are slightly different. You look at the old one. Not sure if those are ambient lighting or turn signals, because the old one we have turn signals, but only in the rear, not in the front over here. But as you can see here, there's front and rear turn signals, if they are turn signals. I don't know whether they are turn signals or not. You still have the ambient lighting, looks almost the same. But anyway, they changed this one from orange or yellow to red. So not sure about that. My guess is this is turn signal as well. So you can see the turn signal from the front as well. And then the next difference is the rear shocks. It's just a color difference. So the old one is black and this one is red. And that's pretty much about it. And actually, one more change is the deck material. So it looks like it's rubberized now. I mean, the new one is rubberized. The old one, as you know, is just sandpaper, which is pretty cheap. So overall, I would say I prefer the looks of the new one. Um, with the red accent, and I like the rubberized deck instead of the cheap sandpaper, and also like this part, the bar over here, it looks better in this case. But other than that, I don't see any differences. Besides, the bigger difference might be the tire actually from this one. My guess again is not solid, is air, and is off-road tire. They said it's still 10 inches. But I'm not sure about that. I prefer solid tires over air tires. So if this is air, then I wouldn't get it at all. And I'm not sure if the spring shocks makes a difference. But if you're just talking about looks, I like the new one better. So these are the main difference. However, there's still a few more clues that we can look at, because I'm not sure if most of you know that the Evercross H5 is actually a clone brand. I mean, at least this scooter. This scooter is also based on the Emove Cruiser, which I have a picture over here. As you can see, it's completely based on that, even though it looks slightly different. But not a major difference. Everything looks the same mostly. And this is a much more popular scooter, I believe. However, the Evercross H5 is exactly the same as the Hitway H5. So here you can see I have a picture over here. So as you can see, it's exactly the same as the Evercross H5. And it's also the same as the Hetzer H5. I think that's how you pronounce that. As you can see, it's exactly the same. And however, they actually release a newer or another version of this scooter, which is called, I mean, there's two new version, which the first one is the H5 Pro, the Hetzer H5 Pro, and the Hetzer H5 GT. I think, I think this one is the GT. So as you can see, this one actually, especially the H5 Pro, looks exactly the same as the new Evercross H5. So that's why I think this might actually based on this one. Probably the same as this one. And this is actually on sale already. I think I saw some pictures and maybe even one review on YouTube, but this is not, that review is not about the H5 Pro, it's about the H5 GT, which is slightly different. As you can see, the GT is more expensive, this part is different. Is a more expensive scooter, so I don't think this one, the Evercross H5, the new one, is not based on this one. However, it looks very similar, but I would say it's actually based on the Hetzer H5 Pro, which is slightly cheaper, but and also they actually increased the price by around $100 compared to the old H5. So my guess, we can actually look at the spec of these Hetzer H5 Pro because they look exactly the same, as you can see, exactly the same. So this one, because the old H5 is exactly the same as the regular Hetzer H5, so my guess this might be the Pro. Some people said this might be the Pro version. So let's look at the spec. And interestingly, the spec is different from the regular H5. So it says it has, again, this is Hetzer H5 Pro, but I assume it would have the same spec as the Evercross H5. So it has 10-inch off-road fat tire, and it doesn't say whether it's solid or not. And it says it has a maximum output of 1600 watts. So that's the difference over here. The regular H5 never mentioned the maximum output. It just said it has an output of 800 watt, but my guess that's the maximum output. So this one might be more powerful, and definitely the range is longer. It's at 65 kilometers, which is around 40 miles. The old one is only 25 miles. And then another difference, of course, the range is longer. That means the battery is bigger. So you can see over here. You can also go to the website and look at it yourself if you want. And then let's see. So if you go down to the spec here, it says the battery is different. So it's 48 volts, which is the same, but it's 16 Ah. So it's a much bigger battery. The old one is only 10 Ah. That's why it has a maximum range of between 55 to 65 kilometers, which is around 40 miles. And then the max speed is between 45 to 50 kilometers per hour, which is between 28 to 31 miles per hour. So pretty much the same, surprisingly. But my guess, if this is true, if the spec is the same as this one, then might be slightly better hill climbing because the old one is not very good. It's fast on flat surface, but on uphill is not very good. And the weight is slightly heavier, as you can see, is 23 kilograms, which is around 50 pounds. So almost 10 pounds heavier, but not too big of a deal. And if that's the case, I think it's definitely worth the upgrade to some people if you prefer. And again, I don't know whether it has the solid tires, but other than that, I think it's a good upgrade with much longer range and slightly more powerful. It's still rated at 800 watts, but it says 1600 watts maximum. The old one doesn't say anything. I would assume 800 watts maximum. So what do you think? So far I don't see any actual pictures of the new H5, since it only changed the picture like a week ago of as of the posting of this video. So I'm not gonna buy it for sure. I'm gonna see the real picture first. What if they make a mistake and you bought it and it turns out they ship you the old one? Then it's totally not worth it. But I think I like the looks of it. So we'll see what happens. So anyway, thanks for watching and have a nice day.